Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku, back in another video. To talk about my, I'm going to be talking about the return of the RWBY episode review. This is chapter 8. So RWBY has returned after a month hiatus. Little over a month. So it's back, and we're just gonna talk about this episode. I'm not gonna talk about the other stuff because, well, you know, YouTube did me dirty. Did me dirty, and you all know about the whole community guideline strike thing, so we're just going to talk about the review here, and that's what we're going to talk about RWBY, because I do like talking about RWBY despite all the BS that's going on right now with YouTube. So the episode starts off with basically. I also want to say I'm very surprised at how long it was. I thought it was a little longer than normal. I don't know if that's true or not, but since I don't really keep track of the time restraints, but I thought it was a bit longer than normal. But anyways, so the episode 8 was dark, and so basically, in the beginning moments of the episode, you got the people in the Atlas prison, like they're basically, you know, there was an attack, you know, while they're, you know, Crow wakes up, and then there's an attack, and then you know, it appears we see a Raven, which, yes, I do think that is Raven. But we don't know for sure because they don't really say anything. But there was a explosion. We see them carry Penny. Then, you know, where the Team RWBY people are right now at this point. We see them basically, you know, carrying Penny in. You know, trying to kind of aid her because she's knocked out, but they all got this green, like, leakage stuff from Penny on them, which does come kind of important into play later on. So there's that whole aspect. While they're trying to heal up Penny, we see Weiss's mom come in. You know, she still has a drinking problem. You know, it's kind of weird that, you know, I mean, she seems like she's a little more, you know, aggressive on everything now, but not as much. She still seems to be shocked by, I guess, her husband, even though her husband's in jail. But it kind of makes sense because it's relationship symptom. Obviously, she has been abused by, psychologically by her husband. It's clear as day, and that's why it seems like she drinks. I do believe that this is what they are going for with her character. Anyways, so basically, the generators are not the power goes out, so they have to get generators to basically, you know, power up the mansion again. So RWBY, Blake, and Weiss. I think Weiss as well. Yeah, it was Weiss. That basically went out and tried to heal up the generator from a building outside. Initially get to it, but then they run into a Grim, you know, a smart Grim, and the Grim basically attacks them, For a while, the Grimm thought Ruby was Penny, which we found out later that, I don't know how Ruby managed to figure it out, but Ruby was like, she's after Penny, but the Grimm basically was mistaking Ruby for Penny because she had the green stuff all over, like green oil, I guess, or something, from Penny, and it, kind of, screwed up the scent. Weiss's brother basically is trying to, go through the computer and basically try to kind of rework things through the systems. And that's what's going on there. Meanwhile, you got Weiss that comes back into the mansion and is basically, trying to, take this Grimm down. But the Grimm is like going after, it eventually makes its way to the brother. And so Weiss doesn't get there in time, but the mother actually saves him. And that leads to him pressing the button before he leaves so he can activate the stuff that he needed to activate. And he gets out of there, and then the mother gets out of there, and they're running away. And then, and this is all while she was drinking too. And they all run away, and then that's when Weiss comes in and like saves them blockage with the iceberg. Also, I should mention that while they were healing Penny, Penny was going through this whole divine between villain and her regular self. Nora actually prevents her for a while from turning into a villain. So there's that aspect. Eventually, Penny does get to the point where she does become a villain with the red eyes. And she basically says she's going to open the vaults and then self-destruct and whatnot. She runs into the Grimm and overpowers the Grimm, but then stops, even though she's a villain, by the way, which it just doesn't make sense. She's the villain, it doesn't make sense. Also, I should mention again, eventually that Grimm does get past the iceberg, and fights off Weiss, but the Grimm eventually realizes they're not Penny, so then he goes after the actual Penny. Penny, then, when she tries to become good again, that's when Penny gets captured by the Grimm. The Grimm is now threatening to kill Penny, like they did with Oscar not too long ago. And so then this is when Ruby uses the Silver Eyes to take out the Grimm. The Grimm does not die, but he does get pushed back out the window. This allows them to get the Penny. The Grimm then basically comes back in, and its head has been revealed to be a person, which Ruby and they all basically say this, that it's a person. When I looked at this, and a lot of other people, I guess, also had pointed this out, it looked like Adams, but I don't think it was Adams, because if it had been Adams, clearly Blake would have had much of a bigger reaction. As a matter of fact, she didn't have a reaction at all. It was mostly Ruby that had most of the reaction, and Blake was right next to Ruby, by the way, when this was happening. So I don't think this was Adam. I think this was a mistake of an animation, because the animation does look like Adam, but it's not Adam. It's just a person, random person. But it does reveal that the Grimm, that these smart Grimms that are being portrayed, like the Grimm that captured Oscar a couple episodes ago, as well as the one in this episode trying to catch Penny, are clearly powered by humans. So that's how they're abnormal, I guess. Since regular Grimms aren't this smart. So that's what happens here. Weiss's mother and Weiss's brother basically just kill it with a statue. Um, and that's basically how that ends. And then after that, they do go to a cutscene with at the end where they show the Atlas jail, where they basically show Cinder basically rescuing Dr. Dr. Wasp, and the soldiers try to stop Cinder, but she gets away very easily. And that's how the episode ends. A very basic, simple episode, but there was a lot to go on, a lot of different stuff, a lot of fight scenes. Very well-rounded episode overall. I actually like the interest in this episode overall. I did like how they incorporated Weiss's mom more in this episode, and we got to see a little bit from her. She definitely didn't seem like she was that strong, but then also when it came to saving her son, she did show some abilities. But it seemed like she was very weak in this episode. But by the end, they actually showed something that she could do. Because it was really weird for me to believe that, this mother couldn't do anything. Because throughout the whole, time that they've shown Weiss's mother, it just seems like she can't do anything. And I was like, she can't be this stupid, right? She's got to be able to do something. And we got to see that, yes, she does have abilities and she can do stuff. She isn't a weakling, but she's more mentally weak right now because obviously her husband obviously has done something to her to brainwash her psychologically because she gets drunk all the time and whatnot. Which is kind of weird because, again, it doesn't seem like he really has any abilities. He's just a businessman. But obviously he got all, as we all know, he got all of his wealth from her side of the family. We all do know that. We learned that in the last season. So I would like them to kind of get into more explanations of why she fell for him. Because obviously he did not have a thing for her. He just wanted her for the wealth. Obviously that didn't stop him from having kids with her. But there's definitely something more there that they, I think, really need to explain more. I don't know if they're going to have time to explain it more, but it's definitely something that intrigues me now. Coming out of this episode. I thought this was a really good episode. I hope we see more. I am really interested to see what's going on with Penny too, because again, with Penny, I was very happy they brought Penny back, but I did not like that she became a Winter Maiden. Did not make sense. It still doesn't make sense based on the canon of RWBY. But I do like Penny. She's one of my, outside of course Yang, of course, but Penny was one of my favorite characters in the show. So I'm glad she was brought back because it did make sense to why she was brought back. Coming out of this episode, some of my concerns now really are with the Grimms being able to be powered by humans. I'm wondering how that exactly works. In terms of, if they're already dead or if they kill them, will they if they kill them, they obviously die. But if they don't kill them, is there a way to rescue them from being Grimms? I'm wondering if there's going to be some type of aspect like that in the story. This was RWBY's 100th episode, which I was honestly surprised. I didn't realize it was their 100th episode. I don't are they? Because only 8 volumes and 12 chapters. I didn't even think that was 100. Maybe they're counting the trailers. I don't know. I would have to, look at it more. But again, most of their episodes were like, at least from the original seasons, they were like original volumes. They were not that long, so that could explain why. But this was a really good episode. There was a lot of interest. Like I said, they had the eye candy of Raven there. An actual Raven, but obviously Raven equals actual Raven. So Raven is there. Or at least I'm assuming that's Raven there, ready to fight Cinder, maybe, or who knows, or maybe he's just trying to go after Crow. I don't know. But definitely some interest going on here, and with what our heroes are doing right now. And Weiss's mom. I think Weiss's mom will have a significant part in the next couple episodes based on what they did in this episode. But nonetheless, that's my thoughts. Very good episode. Comment, rate. What did you think about this episode? Did you guys like it? What did you like? What did you not like? Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate. If you like for my videos, please subscribe. Discord link in the description box. And that's about it, guys. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for the latest contents. Make sure you hit that notification bell because that's how you get all the latest content. That's it. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku. Roderick. Peace!